Hi guys and gals and kittens, and welcome to the iNERO Magic Show. In this video I'm going to show you some of the new stuff I've added to Magic. And so let's start here with use the HyperLambda generator to generate HyperLambda that returns all images you find at iNERO.io, iNERO.io/AI agents, iNERO.io/HyperLambda. Okay, that's it. So now what the system is doing, it's actually generating. Proceed and show me the code. The system is actually generating code that extracts all images and returns those as JSON objects back to the LLM. This like reduces token consumption by like 95% or something, right? Let me see and wrap. Yes, and show me the result. As a numbered list of images. Use markdown syntax when displaying the results. Let's see. I want to just look at the images, right? It's kind of like what I want to do. Okay, that was not the result I was waiting for. Obviously, I wanted it to render it as markdown. And now it's waiting for data from OpenAI. So now I want to choose, I want you to download and save these images in your etc. assets folder. Let's find some cool images we can use. Okay, 79. 78, 77, 74, and 54. So now what I'm doing, I'm basically downloading these images from like whatever server, and I put them in my local server. I want you to search for background images. I want to build a website with glass morphism design using the images you just copied. Scrape iNERO.io for its markdown such that you know what type of site I am building. I want you to create a single page landing page, leading people to iniro.io/buy using the above images, add some nice effects and transitions. I want you to use etc. YouTube demo as URL of the page you're creating. Let's see what it does now. Hopefully it's going to follow my instructions. It doesn't always actually do that, but it's actually surprisingly good at following instructions. So this is GPT 5.2 Codex. So now let me choose a background image. Okay, let's use one crocodile skin, right? So now it's using that image as an asset, and then afterwards it's going to start creating my landing page. This takes time because the LLM needs to return all the HTML, JavaScript and CSS. And now it failed because that folder actually doesn't exist. So now it creates the folder first and then it tries again. So the LLM is automatically correcting itself as it is experiencing things that goes wrong, which is a big thing about Magic and Hyperlambda in general. It's kind of like one of our unique selling points, you might argue. So now let's see what it created for us. Create software with plain English. And here's the photos. Okay, that one looks terrible, right? Some of my images are overflowing. Maybe it was on purpose. And now I want to show you this because this is actually not going to work because I forgot to do something crucial now, which is that I forgot to add cache busters. Whoops, sorry, I wrote it the wrong place. Let me close this window. This is like the wrong agent. And actually it stopped. So I got lucky. After applying these updates, make sure you apply cache busters in the HTML file for downloading JS and CSS, e.g. v v equal, always do this when updating CSS or JS. You see, I'm doing some fairly aggressive caching because of that I'm using a content delivery network, specifically Cloudflare. Now, in order to bypass the cache, you need to add something called cache busters, which are basically modifying the URL without applying semantic changes from the web server's point of view. And that just creates a new entry in my CDN, right? Because it's no longer downloading this specific image, but like a new image, even though it's the exact same images. So let's see now what happens. And there we go. Okay. Your cards are way too wide. The whole site overflows in width. Please fix. now I could like inspect and tell it like specifically this div is wrong or blah blah, but hopefully with a little bit of luck I'll just figure it out. And now I told it to use cache busters all the time, right? So now hopefully it's going to add cache busters to the HTML after it has modified any CSS, which I presume it is going to end up modifying. Now you can create full stack apps and, you know, stuff like that, which I've demonstrated previously, right? Which is arguably, you could say, much more interesting than this. You know what, I'm not even actually going to move on with this. I'm just going to keep it as it is. But obviously this sucks big time, right? It's not a very good website, but then again, I'm also on YouTube, right? So, I mean, you know, how much time do I have to fix this? Of course, in a real environment where I actually cared about the end result, I'd sit and iterate with this, like, you know, back and forth until it didn't clip my image. I mean, the image here is obviously very, very bad. It shouldn't overflow on the width the way it does, and this is crap too, right? But it is fairly good, you know, website, I would imagine. You can tell it to, instead of the text saying iNiro, can you use the actual logo from iNiro.io? Let me see if I can figure that out. You see here up in the top left corner, right, there's obviously a broken image, and then there's like some text that says iNiro. And now instead of downloading the image locally, it takes a shortcut, right, where the HTML is referencing the image directly from iNiro.io, right? But now you can see the logo on the top left corner, right? I could sit and iterate with this until it fixed this. I just don't want to like do it on YouTube. It's probably not that fun to watch me sit and quarrel with my LLM. But it's got some cool effects and, you know, stuff like that. And it's a fairly nice modern website, and the point is, of course, it leads to my purchasing page, right? So anyways, that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.